Yo, what's going on, Joey? How are you?
What's up, man? How's your night been?
It's been good. Been good. Thank you for coming on this call with me. Um, Very grateful that you're helping with this. And I'm sure the people watching in the course are very grateful as well, because like when I first started out, I was kind of skeptical or not skeptical. Um, I never really thought you could turn like a self improvement or something related to self improvement, right, into something you can charge a lot of money for.
Right.
And that's kind of what eventually blew my mind and has kind of led to the creation of this course. Um, so I know we've been talking back and forth. I know I gave you access to the course early. Um, and as we'll talk about, you've been helping me with your offer. Like
hmm
we've kind of exchanged coaching services, and yeah, we can discuss the benefits of that later because of like the validation side of things. Um, but yeah, so to start out, how I'm going to structure these is just walk through pretty much the course, like what we've outlined from the course content, how you're structuring your offers, and then how you're actually going to sell those offers, whether it be just straight up trying to get them on a call or revamping that course of yours, getting them on into an email sequence, and then selling or getting them on a call through that. Um, so first off, I just have a brief summary of what we came up with. So to start off, in the best friend equation, we're pretty much just finding your ideal customer. I have founders written down, and I know that it's a bit broader than that. It's freelancers, course creators, possibly other coaches, any service based entrepreneur or someone trying to make it online or who already has made it online. And of course, with the whole ideal customer type deal, you want to target those that have money already,
Right.
right? So you're going after people that you know have money based on what they post on Twitter, uh, what they sell on Twitter. If you know their offer is good, you probably know they're making money. Um, yeah, did I miss anything there?
No, that was a great summary.
Cool. Cool. So we got that down. I think that's good. That's kind of my same exact target.
hmm
I just help them with the funnels rather than the performance side.
Right.
So the problem with them, the pressing problem or the start of their transformation, the very beginning where they're at now, is that they're low performing in every area except business. They're doing well on Twitter. Um, they're making a lot of money from courses or freelancing or whatever they're doing, right? Um, but with that and with the nature of, I guess, psychology in your case, is that people break down pretty easily. Like it's maybe I'll hand this off to you, but it's hard to build like the perfect habits to be productive. And yeah, I'll let you explain that. Like how does psychology play a role in this, and like what's their problem? Why are they suffering but exceeding in business?
So, even high performing entrepreneurs, people who have really successful businesses and social media accounts and everything, I've noticed that they commonly have one or more negative habits. So, with my clients, the most common of those habits has been sleep. You know, running a business takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. In most cases, it takes a lot of caffeine. And so these people are not getting as much sleep as they could be. And, sleep is one of those habits where if you don't have that right, then it kind of destroys everything else and you're not going to be operating at a high level. So these people have these negative habits and they're essentially leaving money on the table because if they fix their habits with a coach, such as myself, then they could earn more money or they could potentially restructure their business to bring other people in and offload some of that work, and then they have more free time. So that's ultimately what my offer leads up to. It's getting more out of life and business with the same 24 hours that everybody else has. So where the psychological aspect comes into that is me working with a client to understand what their negative habits are, what are the things that are holding them back, and then creating a personalized plan for them to trade in those bad habits for things that are actually going to help them get where they want to be.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. And as we both know, I was struggling with that as well. Like in the past, I think the main thing that launched me into business or doing all this stuff was like having that pain of not being where I am. And then all of a sudden, I don't know why it happened, but I kind of just launched into like a hyper disciplined state. And that led to me doing good in life and business. Um, and eventually having a business that is making me money and it's not too difficult to continue making money. And so my habits naturally degraded. And I, as we discussed, we don't have to go into it, but I had problems and
Yeah.
you helped me with those. And the other thing of why I think this is such a valid offer, then we'll get into validation later, but um, most of the entrepreneurs, since they're so successful in that aspect, they're kind of blind to the problem that they have,
Yep.
right? Like I thought I was doing fine. I thought I was just going through a rough patch or something. But
Mm-hmm.
then you start to break it down and I start doing better and it's like, okay, like it works, you know? Um, so yeah, on to the quantifiable end result. You mentioned it a bit, but the end of the transformation, what you're going to help them achieve, and that's getting more out of life and business in the same 24 hours as everyone else.
Yep.
Um, and for those that went through the course, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but in the video in the viral transformation, I was mentioning how my QBR is kind of vague for the time being. And that's because I don't have the testimonials for this. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get them to their quantifiable end result. And that's the same with um, JK, who's on the next interview. And so yours is at get more out of life and business in the same 24 hours in like your bio. That's what you're promoting.
Yep.
But since you're selling something like coaching services, it's fairly easy to find out, like you need to be good on your toes, like in the sales calls or when you're talking to them in the DMs, because you can kind of break down exactly where they are. And then based on your previous experience or where you actually believe you can help take them, that's where the quantifiable end result comes into play, something that they desperately want. And that's kind of up to intuition and how you talk on the sales calls. So when you start to get those locked down and you find a common pattern in them and you get results that you can actually promise, that's when the real quantifiable end result comes into play. So for now, both you and I and JK, it's okay that the quantifiable end result is a little bit vague. And over time, it will get more and more quantifiable. And for those watching, if you have a service that you're selling or a product that you have, and you know you can guarantee those results with the path that you're taking them on to get those results, then you can come up with a quantifiable end result right out of the gate, right? You can come up with something hyper specific and then refine and iterate as you go.
Yeah, one thing I would like to add to that really quick is something that was pointed out to me by someone else I hadn't even thought about. But make sure that your quantifiable end result is something that your potential client actually wants. So when people were asking me about my offer, people that were helping me develop my offer, I kept talking about the increased revenue, the money thing, because money sells well on money Twitter. And couple of them pointed out, well, what if the people don't want more money? What if they want more time? So that led to me kind of expanding my strategy really. So if I'm talking to someone in the DMs, or if I get an email, or if I get people coming through an intake form to apply for a call with me, then I can actually tailor my quantifiable end result and even more of my offer to what it is they actually want, if that's something that I can help them achieve. And then also, I can use some of the information from that intake form to tailor what I discuss on the discovery call. Because ultimately, I don't want to waste anybody's time talking about things and results that they're not interested in.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've experienced that on many sales calls. It's like when um, you're breaking down their problems, or you're asking them, let's say in that questionnaire, in that intake form, like what they think is holding them back, or one, first, what their goals are, and two, what is holding them back from getting there. That gives you a lot of the ammo that you need to actually position your offer in a way that fits them. And so for those that have gone through the course, it's the same thing I keep saying. In like, all of this stuff is not set in stone. You're not going to have one um, marketing angle, or one campaign, or one promotion that's going to do well for your entire lifetime of online business. And it may not even do well out of the gates. It may not do well in the third iteration. Um, it's up to you to market towards the specific person that you are trying to sell, right? And so in a sales call, that's easy. In landing page copy, um, it's a bit more difficult, but you have more room to actually expand on what you are trying to sell them, right?
You also have room for adding testimonials, video testimonials
Oh,
where
right. Yeah.
people may find themselves relating to testimonials in there. So they may think of things that they may not even have thought that they wanted, benefits that they could get from working with you.
Yeah. So um, I don't have this on there, so I'll mention it now. Is you're kind of trying to give them two epiphanies. You're trying to give them an aha moment, like, okay, this may finally solve my problem, because they know they have a problem. And if you've walked them through it, then they definitely know they have a problem. So you're trying to give them that aha moment of, this could solve my problem. And then you're also trying to give them the feeling that your offer is specifically for them. They need to feel like this was made for me to solve that problem, right?
Yeah. So think of it like you are the bridge between where they are now and where they want to go.
Yep.
Ultimately, what your potential client cares about is the benefits and the transformation and the experiences that they're going to have after working with you. So they don't really care about all your fancy like coaching system and the details of when and how you're going to talk to them and all that stuff. They need to know, if you want them to make a decision about whether they're going to work with you, they need to know that you're going to get them where they want to go. So you really need to focus on that on the discovery call.
Yeah. Like they don't give two shits if you offer 4 calls, 8 calls, 12 calls, a billion calls. They want to know that you can take them to a better version of themselves, a
Right.
specific better version of themselves. Yeah. Cool. So, uh, moving on. So, the USP, or like how you are positioning yourself, um, your USP kind of falls in line with who you're specifically targeting in this case. So, founders, course creators, service based entrepreneurs that are making money. Um, and beyond that, which can also be included in the USP, would be your unique mechanism, or your path of how you're helping them get there, or your offer and how it is a unique machine. So your unique mechanism is psychological performance, right?
Yep.
And so in the picture, here's how I think of it. People, so I mentioned this in the course as well, the P90X, their unique mechanism that kind of got people thinking, and this is the main thing that gives a person that aha moment as of like, this may finally solve my problem. In P90X, that was muscle confusion. Like that wasn't talked about at the time. Everyone was like, oh, muscle confusion, like this kind of it's bullshit, but like they were thinking, oh, this kind of makes sense. Like if I uh, lift weights in a bunch of different ways and like confuse my muscles into growing, then yeah, that makes complete sense. That'll work. And so they sold a lot. That's not the only reason, but they sold a lot of their program. And so in the case of high performance coaching, or um, more general term that kind of fits, is just self-improvement coaching or life coaching. Um, Psychological performance stands out, and it jabs them a bit. It makes them kind of think like, okay, this might be a psychological problem of mine that's holding me back, right?
Yeah.
Rather, like when someone says high performance, some people may understand that if they've heard of it before. But when I think of high performance, like the first time I read it on Twitter, um, it's like, okay, what is that? Like, what is a high performer? And I
Yeah.
actually made a tweet one time that got a lot of flack from the bad side of Twitter, because I guess high performers meant something completely different than what I thought. I won't say it on the stream, but yeah. Um, so I was kind of thrown off there, and see, it just doesn't really make sense to position your offer as that, because there's so many high performance coaches out there, and some of them have their marketing down, but I like psychological performance a lot better. And that can be popped into the spot of unique mechanism and the name of your offer.
Yeah. The thing is, first off, you want to make sure that your unique mechanism is not bullshit like muscle confusion was. But a benefit of giving it some kind of a fancy name is to make it stand out. I think you had kind of mentioned that for my niche and my competitors, there's high performance for entrepreneurs, people out there that you can find on Google. But if I approached someone and said, "Oh, I can increase your performance. I can help you make more money. I can help you have more time." People hear stuff like that all day long, every day. It doesn't really stand out. So that was my thinking with the psychological performance program, where it has a psychology aspect in there in the name, so that people understand that there's something deeper to it. There's some science behind it. It digs below symptoms and gets to the causes. And then, you know, it's for performance and it's for a program. And, the name sounds kind of cool, I think. So, yeah, I mean, it
It
just kind
does.
of worked out for me. It probably could be better, but it's a good start. And that's another thing
Yeah.
when you start naming your program or your unique point is don't spend forever trying to figure it out. Come up with some ideas, maybe run it by people, get some opinions, but get something different to at least make it stand out, would be my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's a very solid point, because I've spent a lot of time. It's funny, like on anything, when you're trying to come up with a name for a brand, or
Hmm.
in this case, like the name of a product, like you're stuck for like a month
Yep.
just second guessing yourself the entire time.
Hmm.
So that's not worth it. I think psychological performance program sounds very good and appealing, and will spark some neurons in the brain when it's mentioned, like, oh, this could be for me. um, so yeah, we've got that kind of explains the initial high tier offer. And so in terms of the offer stack, in terms of how you're going to sell it on the phone calls, or in some cases the DMs, is you have the offer stack of the psychological performance program as like the
Mhm.
main encompassing program. And then you have a downsell of, and this is assuming that everything goes as planned and that the person on the phone with you actually needs the 3 month program or how
Right.
3 months. Yeah. So then you can downsell an accelerated program. So the initial program has 12 calls, weekly calls, um, everything included in that. The accelerated is half of that. So 1.5 months, 6 calls, same deal. You're just going through it quicker, right? And it costs half the price. So you've already stated in the call at this time that the price of your course is X for 3 months. This is a high price. And then downselling after you handle the objection of pricing, or this is handling the objection of pricing, uh, that you have a 1.5 month program with the same benefits. We can probably get you to that end result that you're looking for, and that costs half the price. So it's compared next to the high price thing for a similar value that they're getting. So a lot of people will sell on that one that can't afford the higher price one, but they can afford half price. And then if they still object about the price there, or if the call just goes off the rails and you end up ending the call, you can follow up with this. But you have a micro coaching offer for right now. I believe for you, it's 3 weeks.
Yep.
In some cases, it's two. It's however you want to structure the offer, right? It's an offer. So, like if you go through the offer section of the course, you can create a lower ticket offer that you can downsell. Um, So in this case, it's 2, 3 weeks, Telegram coaching only. So they're not taking up a lot of your time via
Mhm.
calls. They still get a similar value. You're still walking them through, you're still giving them time, um, you're still holding them accountable. And that one is much less. That's like a third of the price of the
Yep.
accelerated version. So that's like $500, right? $500 for that, less time on your hands. And then just to mention so for coaching and in some cases other services, freelancing or agency services, you can base the first offer off of what you think they actually need, right? So
Right.
it may not be a full 3 months if they just need help with like sleep and stuff in your case, or if you have a huge agency offer and they only need help with, say, the email marketing aspect of it, then you can offer that out of the gate and then eventually potentially upsell on something else if they enjoyed it so much and they still want to coach month by month, or if they still want to, if you got them good results with the email marketing, then you can get them good results with something else, right?
Yeah. So one thing that I would advise the viewers not to do is a mistake that I made when I first started off doing discovery calls and trying to sell. I would advise you to dig into the objection. So, in my limited experience, one thing that you're going to hear a lot is, "I'll think about it." Ask the person. It's not too intrusive to ask them. What's the hesitation? Because at this point, you should have presented your offer. You should have handled talking about the things that they want to achieve. So you should have presented a pretty juicy offer, so you can ask them, what's the hesitation? Is it the program or is it the price? Most times, from what I've read, people are going to say, oh, it's the price. So that's when you can offer them the accelerated version. Because what I was doing initially was presenting my offer. Someone would say, oh, well, I'll think about it. Thank you. And then I would immediately offer the smaller version without really digging into that objection. So I was negotiating against myself, essentially. So I would advise people to do that. And then, yeah, I mean, like you said, I think the way to go is to maybe have a desired length in mind. For me, it's about 3 months is what I like to do. But some people may need a year of coaching, some, with less calls or something. Some people may need, like you said, just to fix their sleep. Like one of my clients had issues with sleep, and I got him straightened out within a week or two. So he didn't need 3 months of coaching. Yeah, we could have worked on other things, but if I had told him, yeah, we're going to work on your sleep for 3 months, and it's going to cost you for 3 months of coaching, we probably wouldn't be working with that guy. So definitely adapt your offer to the needs of the person.
Agreed. Nice. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, that pretty much covers the offer stack, some selling. In terms of offer validation, so for people first starting out, which was you about a month ago,
Yeah.
a month ago with the actual offer. You've been on Twitter
Yeah.
for a long time, and so now, like when we started talking, we started setting your offer up, and yeah, so Joey is blessed in a way that he has that Twitter audience that he can test things on. And I'm going to throw in a subtle plug. This is kind of off topic, but for those reading, I would hope that you have some form of it, some interest in building some form of an audience, whether it be on Twitter, if you are selling something that other people on Twitter want to buy, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's agency owners, there's e-commerce stores, there's people that love self-improvement and retweeting engageable tweets. Then build an audience there. If yours is more business to business, then LinkedIn or Facebook with like Facebook groups works really well. And other things like Instagram is also good for the same thing that Twitter is. So I'd consider building an offer, because that just gives you like prime testing material and digital real estate, which I am very big on now, because like you have an audience that you can sell to and help, and it's enjoyable. So Joey had an audience. Joey had a network of other people like myself and other bigger accounts on Twitter that could give him huge leverage into and huge social proof out of the gate for something that nobody else is really offering. Maybe one or two, but it's not as unique or targeted in my eyes as Joey. So I really think that Joey will be like the go-to and the dominator in this industry, right? So what Joey did, he reached out to his network. He reached out to me. He asked if anyone had problems. He took on 3 to 4 people.
4, yeah.
4 people, and he started helping them with what they needed help with. One, as he said, was sleep. For me, it was not sleep. It was routines and habits, and having a fairly urgent goal. And that really fucking helped. So that worked. So in that case, Joey was able to get on calls. He was able to talk to people, and he had a network to do that. So for people that don't have a network, there's a few options. You can offer your services for free, which sometimes I recommend, like a full-fledged program. Maybe if it's like a good friend that you're working with or a family member, then yes, I recommend that. But in terms of just validating the offer and making sure that people actually need it, I would just offer to hop on one call with one person or a few people in your niche, preferably your target audience, your target person, right? So in Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, you can filter and find these pretty well, and you can just offer to give them some tips on what they're struggling with. So if an e-com founder is, that they're struggling with email marketing, then you can go in, get on a call with them, give them some tips, and maybe they'll even hire you off of that. But you can at least walk them through and ask them like what their pain points are, what they're struggling with, see if your offer is actually needed. And then of course, there is the way of just studying the market. What are people currently selling? What's actually selling? Not like, you need to know that it's actually selling. So Facebook ads that are doing really well, courses that are selling, a specific type of course that is really selling, like on Twitter. Um, Twitter courses were really big. Like originally there was a few big players that had a good Twitter course, maybe like 2 or 3, and those sold like hotcakes. And then everyone started creating Twitter courses and they kind of got a bad rap, and they stopped selling as well. They still sell well because people want to grow on Twitter. But if you were to take it and put a unique spin on it and just run it through the framework of the course, you'd come out in a much better light. Like if you were to attack one angle of it, like people that are trying to land clients on Twitter, I still don't think there's a dedicated Twitter course to landing clients on Twitter. And so for the people that are on there, like freelancers and people in our target market, that would do extremely well, right?
Yep.
And so that's just one example of that. Because the Twitter courses are selling, but then the market sophistication rose and rose and rose to the point where like, oh, there's too many of these, and then you need to come in with a unique mechanism, a unique angle, and attack that way. And that's how you continue selling and pretty much obliterate the market sophistication stages.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to what you were saying a minute ago, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they start a new business or even just start creating a new offer is validating it. So just because you think that the market needs something doesn't mean that the market actually needs that thing. And if you don't do your research and don't do your validation, you're not really going to be making much money. You're not really going to be helping anybody because you're not solving a problem that actually exists. So, as you said, I was fortunate to have my Twitter community. I've been talking about science based self improvement for about a year and a half now. And then I had people that were in my target audience that were in my network. So I saw opportunities to start helping them. And like you said, that validated the offer because, you guys are my target audience and you had things that I was able to help you with. So that was absolutely incredible. So I would highly recommend doing some stuff for free. I mean, I know that not everybody wants to do that. They feel like it's a waste of time or whatever, but it's really good for validation. It's good for practice and experience. It's good for testimonials and social proof. I mean, especially when you don't have any, social proof is absolute gold because if I'm coming to you pitching you a service for thousands of dollars, but I have no proven track record of having done that service and gotten other people results, why would you want to work with me? Because
Right.
you don't know any better. So yeah, working for people for cheap or for a commission or outright free, I think it worked out really well for me. So I highly recommend that for others, especially coaches.
Yep. I agree. And with coaching, it's fun. Like
Mm-hmm.
in your case, like you're talking to, like, I know the 4 people that you
Yeah.
helped, and it's like, we're all pretty tight knit homies. So it's like, it's not even really coaching. It's just like, hey, I'm giving you some advice. We're hopping on
Yeah.
calls and we're just shooting the shit. But at the same time, we're helping each other grow. And so
Right.
in that case, for coaches, it's banging. Right.
Yep.
So yes, we got the validation down, and then how you're going to sell it. And this would fall under the last module of the main course, in like setting up some type of a funnel to sell it, and just straight up outreach, right? So let's just start with the DMs. So, or no, let's start with all of them. So you have a Twitter audience. So you have promo tweets that you can
Yep.
use to your advantage, just straight up direct promo tweets asking people to DM you. So you can walk them through, I guess, the awareness levels. You walk them through the awareness levels pretty quickly in the DMs. You get them on the call, you exaggerate the problem on the call, and then you close the call with the offer stack that we talked about previously. And So you have promo tweets, direct tweets that you can send out on a consistent basis, like once or twice a week, so you're not annoying people all the time. And then there are the tweet plugs. So if you tweet about something that is heavily related to your offer or just problems that people are having, then you can pop a tweet under there, ask people to DM you, go through the same stage. And that is even less annoying than a direct promo tweet. So you can do that quite a bit. I would say once a day if you wanted to, outside of the days that you do a entire promo tweet. And then, so we got that going. That should bring in a consistent flow of leads for those that have an audience. And then the next thing would just be, well, there's two DMs. So there's the DMs cold where you, or not even, no, there's the warm-ish DMs where people that interact with the tweets that are fairly related to your offer, they either reply or they retweet or they like. You can reach out to as many of those as you want. Just shoot them like a compliment, start building the connection, right? You talk to them like you're a homie, you see what they're working on, you give them some free advice. And then if you want to go straight into breaking down their problem, like raising them up the awareness levels and getting them on a call, you can do that. Or you can just pop them in a spreadsheet or a CRM, and then you can come back to them later and do that. Talk about their problems, position your offer as a solution. And then the next one is along a similar line of that, is either finding people that fall directly into your target audience and cold outreaching to them, or there's like you were saying later, the people that call themselves out on the timeline, like they're posting one of those vulnerability tweets where it's like, oh, I've been struggling with X, X, and X, and it's just the perfect like bait for you to go in, build a connection, and then eventually pitch your services.
Yep. Yeah, I would say I highly recommend people that are starting to do that. Don't DM someone your offer. Don't try to sell them on the very first message. That's a huge turnoff, and you're probably going to get blocked. So I will say, as cheesy as it may sound, if you go into it looking to build a relationship, start off asking some actual questions, or like you said, give a compliment, show some interest in the person. And then if you feel like you can legitimately help them, then, maybe offer some advice, get them on a discovery call or a strategy call, and then you can pitch your offer. But ease them into it. I mean, if you are on Tinder, you're not gonna like proposition a Tinder date right away, or maybe you will. I mean, I'm not judging or anything, but if you're trying to find a committed relationship, then you're probably not going to lead with that right out the gate. So get to know them first a little bit.
Yes, I completely agree. And then adding on to this as well, with like Jack Bly and Gabe, who I helped a bit with their offers too, is Jack kind of blew up. Gabe is at like 800-ish followers now. But the whole so the promo tweets and the tweet plugs works for people that have an audience, right? And that's why I recommend building an audience, because it's kind of less work and less time on your end spent doing that. And you don't really have that leverage in your arsenal. But the cold DMs and like the networking and the connection building works really well. And that's what people do on LinkedIn. That's what people do on Instagram, on Facebook, is they hop in a DM, they give them a compliment, like a genuine compliment. They're trying to build a genuine connection. And then if they do have a problem that you can help fix, then you lead them up to that. You do a soft pitch for a call, you get them on a call, you sell. Yeah. So, and that's how Jack and Gabe landed their first few clients, with a relatively low follower count.
Yeah, again, just go into it trying to start a conversation. You know, like I said, don't try to pitch immediately. Don't be fake. As hard as we cliche as that may sound, you know, just like you said, give them a compliment, say something about their content or something that they've done that has resonated with you. Introduce yourself, you know, because if you're really desperate for a sale at any point, whether it's in DMs or on Twitter, in an email, on a discovery call, that's going to be so easy to detect. And desperation is a huge turnoff in basically any aspect of life. So, yeah, I mean, just start from a conversation and go from there.
Yep, I agree. Yes. Okay. So the last thing that we're going to talk about is your course, right? You already have a course. You were kind of like me in the sense, or a lot of people on Twitter, where it's like uh, you created it really quick um, without either going through that, without like having structure to it and a solid marketing plan for it, right?
Mhm.
It's a good course. I've read through it. It's good. Um, and it could sell to some people that are lower on, or I guess higher on that awareness level, or lower in the, like, the market sophistication was a tad bit lower on Twitter for that kind of product, right? You had what was the name of it?
Habits made simple.
Habits Made Simple, but from your unique psychological perspective. And people knew
Right.
that, and the branding of the actual course was like that. So you had somewhat of a unique spin on it, but it wasn't targeted at a direct group of people. We didn't have the other things in place. So Joey's plan is to revamp that course, make it hyper targeted at the people that he would want to take on as clients, because you can make, a lot of people talk about this, but you can make a lot of money from courses just selling them, especially organic, where you're not paying for ad spend. And if you're paying for ads that are breaking even because you haven't tested or iterated enough, um, again, audiences are important. Um, so you plan to revamp the course, one, to increase your income. I would say just like create a base income for yourself that isn't client reliant, and then get them in. So they buy that, they're buyers. Buyers always buy more, and then you work them up the value ladder with uh, an email sequence, um, to sell them on a call. Of course, like, raise them up the awareness levels again into, and like hammer in on their problems, and then eventually ask them to get on a call uh, to sell them on it, right? And another thing that I could recommend to you that we actually haven't talked about before, so this is exclusive to this interview, but it's still relatively the same. Um, you could take your micro coaching offer and put it up on a landing page, and, like, of course, explain, like, break it down what's in the program, landing page structure, and you could sell that as a next step up from the course, right? And if you
Yeah.
want, you can put discounts on that if you want, like a like urgency type deal, like, I'm only taking on 10 more people for this because it takes up my time.
Right.
um, Sell them on that, have those micro coaching clients, because I think it's not high ticket. It's a reasonably priced one-on-one offer that people could buy from a landing page, right? Especially after already buying and going through those email sequences that hammer on the pain points. So then you could sell that, and then you're in direct one-on-one touch with them. And then if you get, let's say you get, hopefully you get 100% of them results, but human nature, we pray that happens, right? Okay, so in a real world, you get 60 to 80% of them solid results, and then you can schedule another, like, offboarding call with them, right? Uh, and then potentially upsell them on either a retainer of that micro coaching, so 500 every 2 weeks, 1,000 a month, for just Telegram access, you checking in, you holding them accountable, ongoing. And then, or you can of course start with the top of your offer stack for people that really enjoyed it and bring them like downsell into the recurring, the retainer micro coaching, right?
Yep.
And so, damn, I think that's actually pretty good. You could implement that as well, or you could at least test it. That's the beauty of it, is you can always test this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I mean, the the offer that I have and the work that I want to do, I think it lends itself very well to that model because it's versatile, right? You know, as I was saying a little bit ago, different people have different needs. You know, some people may go through my $37 info product and change their life, straighten their life out. You know, like somebody could do the same with Atomic Habits, right? But you know, a lot of people need some extent of help to implement that, or honestly, just some accountability. That's seems to be the main thing that people need a coach for, is accountability, because they know what to do, they have the awareness, and they try to take action, but it's really difficult for some people to keep themselves accountable. You know, I have the same exact problem. That's why I have a coach. So yeah, I mean, it just gets back to tailoring things to what the person wants and needs, and of course, obviously, what they can afford as well. The more
Yeah.
options, the better, as long as you play it right. Don't like dump all of your options onto somebody right away. You know, be a little strategic about it.
Yeah, I agree. And that's another thing I mentioned in the course, is that like I mentioned the whole offer stack stuff and like having like working them up the value ladder. But in there, I told people to take it with a grain of salt if they're just starting out. So for things like coaching, you can adapt it in so many different ways. Like you have the main PPP program that you already have set up, and then the downsells are just a matter of slicing that offer up to fit what they want. So that works well, and it's why I gave heed is because you could go and start selling that now without revamping your course. But with your situation, you have the power to, one, you already have a course. It's just a matter of rewording some things, remarketing it, overhauling it so you can start selling it again and get people in that funnel. But for others that are, say, selling an agency service, like if you only understand web design or email marketing, start landing email marketing clients now so you have that money coming in and you have that motivation or that boost of motivation to start creating different parts of your offer that would fit your niche really well, especially since you know them so well, since
Yep.
you're selling to them and you understand their problems and you've hopefully uh, studied the market. Then once you're making money from that and you have the time and resources to either learn a new skill or hire someone to provide or to deliver on a skill that you're trying to sell to them, then you can do that.
Yep.
So if it's easy, I don't see a problem with not creating multiple variations of your offer for the specific people within your specific niche. Yeah.
Yep. And then, you know, as you said, once you start getting some money coming in, you have some options, because then you could either double down on what's working and what you're doing now, or you could expand or deepen your own skill set. So if you notice that a lot of the people that you're getting on discovery calls with are having problems with something that you can't help with, if it's, you know, somewhat related to your main skill set, maybe take some time investing into that and develop that skill so that you can have that as part of your main offer or a separate offer entirely. Because then you
Yeah,
can help more people and make more money.
exactly. And that's like another thing, like when like people are worried about niching down too far because there won't be enough like clients or other things, like there's plenty. of work within a specific niche. And yeah, so to end this, since this course is also targeted at course creators or digital product creators, I hope this has opened your eyes to the possibilities of a high ticket offer with the knowledge or with your expertise, with the stuff that you created your course with. Because a high ticket, I mean, a course can almost always be transitioned or used to create a coaching offer, a consulting offer, a freelance service, something of that nature, or at least it's a part of it. So email marketing, again, if it's an email marketing course, you can offer that as a service, or it can be a part of your offer if you offer landing page plus email sequence to sell them on something else, right? And it's the same with all the, like, people are avoiding, I feel like people are avoiding on Twitter, like making self-improvement products because they think that make money online is the only niche to go into, right? When that's just not the case. They just don't have the marketing knowledge or the offer stack that would help them sell more of not only that product, but having a high ticket service where if they get two clients that they're at 10K a month, right? Fuck the low ticket product. Just use it as a lead generation method.
Well, it gets back to what I was saying a minute ago. I guess the inverse of when I was saying, make sure that the problem that you want to solve is actually a problem that the community has. I mean, look at problems that are being underserved, right? Like you just said, there aren't that many people doing good self-improvement products right now because everybody wants to do money products. So there's an opportunity that people aren't really taking advantage of. And it's like, what are some other blind spots that Gumroad courses or whatever have right now? Like what else isn't being served? We recently had 2 or 3 incredible courses come out. I know the ones that that I'm talking, or know the ones I'm talking about, that I never thought that there would be courses that would get that popular about those topics, but they're incredible courses and they're doing really well. So don't just jump towards what you think is going to make you some sales. Like, think about what could you really knock out of the park and own. Like, don't just do what everybody else is doing. Do what you could do your best, as long as that's something that the market actually needs. It's complex, but it's worth it.
It is.
If it was easy, you wouldn't get paid. Right?
Yeah. True. And like adding on to that as well, like I'll mention it. The courses are fucking good. So Matthew Pake's agency course is fire. I might even include them in the recommended resources on here with an affiliate link. If you buy them, you're giving me a slight percentage. So Matthew Pake's agency course is very good for people that want to start an agency. Cold Email Mastery by Cold Email Wizard is also very good and has made people a lot of money by selling their services via cold email. And the cool thing about the B2B, the business to business model with them is that they're taking it even further. Like Cold Email Wizard just released a SaaS, a software as a service for scraping e-commerce agencies' email addresses. And so like literally the sky is the limit with this shit. Like, who knows? And like Joey can create a membership service. Joey can create, how would you create a SaaS? Either way, there's so much, like you can do anything. Like if you're solving a problem in a unique way, then like unique mechanism, again, like it might not be psychological performance in that case anymore. It might be the way that you're actually delivering on the problem that you're solving. Like if you can, who knows, it may be a 7-week email sequence that is considered a unique mechanism if the market sophistication on that is lower, right? Or higher. Yeah, lower. So like if there's no 7-day email or 30-day email sequence on solving your low energy problems, then that could do very well in a market that doesn't already have a good product that solves that problem, or just doesn't have one that delivers that way and provides amazing results by segmenting the deliverables like that.
Yep. And then if you have something unique that's solving a problem and you're getting people amazing results, that's going to get you true fans. And if you haven't heard of
Yep.
I think it's 100 true fans theory. I don't remember who came up with it. Diego Forte, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't take that many true fans to sustain an incredible income. So don't think that you have to appeal to everybody. That's one of the worst things you can do, in fact. Like if you try to appeal to everybody and cast a broad net, then you're really not going to appeal to anyone.
Yeah, I agree, man. And geez, like this interview was way better than I was expecting it to be. This was really good. Like, damn. Yeah. Okay. So there are. I love Kartra. There's comments open on this module. So if you have a comment, leave a comment. Be really cool to hear your thoughts about this. If you watched all the way through, I know this is getting longer now, but man, I personally think it was filled with gold nuggets, especially for those that are trying to monetize their passion. I guess you say something that they are very interested in, and that could be very rewarding as work.
Yeah. So I think I agree this was a very valuable call, and I hope that people have watched all the way through. I would like to say that I have been developing my skills leading up to coaching for over 3 years now, but I'm only just now really getting into monetizing it. So I would say there's a black and white difference between where I am now with my business. And Dan, you know this, a black and white difference between where I was a month ago and where I am now. So while some of this stuff may sound really complicated and sound like it's going to take a really long time, it doesn't. You just need to put in the work and then ask for help when you need it. So, it's you may feel really far away for a while, but that's kind of part of the process. Once you get going and start making progress towards your first offer or your first client, then that's when the magic happens. And then once you get going, exponential growth. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And it's just, yeah, I feel like that's a common theme with almost everyone in this space is like, there are courses, there's knowledge that can be given to you to speed up the process and put you on the right path. But if you don't have anything that you've learned previously or have been interested in, or just don't have a business model straight given to you, like in Cold Email Wizard's course, like you can literally take his you can literally take his method of getting cold emails and offer it to agencies, right? So it's like an all-in-one, like here's what you do and how you sell it to people.
Yep.
Type deal. And it's kind of similar with this course. Like, I don't know what my plans for the future are of adding to this course, but as of now, it's like a marketing framework that you can help other people set up. And then if you have a skill on top of that, like if you understand writing or web design or even just card landing pages and selling those on Twitter, like that's huge. And with this framework, you can get them better results rather than just like having them write the copy, and you can charge more money with this. So it's same deal, but you can't skip the learning phase. But exactly. I think you should limit your time in the learning phase, depending on what it is, and start making money, or at least start trying to make money. So then you'll learn way more. You'll just learn like how, Well, you'll learn what you need to do, like to actually one, provide results, or um, do the work. It's like college. Let me put it in this light. So you go to college for web design. In my case, you learn some stuff, but then once you get a job, you always hear that it's nothing like what they taught you in college. You have those base skills, but you're not exactly using the same work. So you need to adapt really quick to work, or in our case, client work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, experience is the best teacher, really. So you kind of have to get your nose out of the books at some point and start failing, start taking action, posting on Twitter, sending emails, helping clients, whatever it is. You've got to start putting in them reps and learn from it, iterate and improve, and you'll be driving a Lambo in no time.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right, man. I appreciate you coming on this call.
It is.
It's very valuable. I can't wait for people to get in here. I haven't launched the course yet, so I can't wait for people to watch this and go through the course.
Yeah,
Way too valuable.
it's going to make a big difference. I mean, it really was just what I needed right at the right time. So it's going to change some lives.
Hell yeah. Let's go. And I think these interviews will provide some more clarity, because like you can go through the course, you can write everything down, but then you don't really feel confident in what you're doing. And so hearing us walk through your own, like what you're doing, and that it's actually selling, and that it's gonna sell a lot more down the road. Yeah.
Well,
But
these are
like,
really kind of like interactive case studies, like,
yeah.
and that's the way my mind works. Is I always love seeing examples of application. Don't just tell me,
Yeah.
show me. Like, how did you use this information, or how did other people use this information? Because that way I can see the patterns and maybe see the mistakes or the failures, or come up with other ways that they, or like see ways that they have used the information in a novel way, things like that. So I think that these interviews are usually beneficial, and I can't really think of anybody else that's doing this kind of thing right now. So that's pretty cool.
Unique mechanism now.
Yep.
It kind of is. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. I need to figure out where to throw this in the course. I'll probably throw it actually in the main course, since it ties everything up well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'll let you go on about your night. I know you got some purple plans for later.
Yep.
Maybe.
Got some coaching to do. Some purple coaching.
Oh, true. You got to tend to Oreo.
Yep.
Tell Oreo I said what's up. Oh, okay. Wait, no, what am I doing? Okay. Everyone that's still here, please, I hope you're still here. One, follow Joey at Cypreneur, PSYPRENEUR on Twitter.
Yep.
And maybe if you're watching this a year from now, on Instagram, or find him everywhere, right? And then also, if you are an entrepreneur that is struggling in any of these areas with regards to psychological performance, DM Joey, let him walk you through his own offer stack. And it's another thing is like, we broke everything down here. You know exactly about his business model. It's like, it's valuable, whether you buy the high ticket one or you buy the micro coaching, it's going to provide you immense value if you are having problems in these areas. Yeah, I can let you give a short pitch, or I would just say, like, if you, how would you pitch this? If you're feeling low energy, if you spend 8 hours working when you could actually get all of that work done in 2 hours, if you are struggling to prioritize parts of your business that would actually make more money, and you want to work on that like a machine, like I have been doing on my business because Joey gave me those urgent goals, please DM him. If anything, just DM him to make a connection. Joey's a fucking cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gave a really good pitch there. Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to meet new people. I actually didn't know that you were going to do that. So now people know that I was being sincere when I mentioned like I DM people to try to have a relationship with them first and not just try to close them on a sale. So yeah, I guess now people know that if you DM me, then I'll be happy to talk to you and I won't be trying to pressure you into selling anything. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm always happy to talk to new people and help them out. Hit me up.
let's go. All right, man. Okay, now I think we can end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this module of the course, and I hope it brought immense value to you as it did to both of us.
Just don't give up. That's literally the most important thing is not giving up.
Yeah, we'll start spitting platitudes right now. Don't give up.
Man cannot remake himself without suffering.
All right, man. Well, I'll have a good night. I'll see you on the Twitterverse.
Sounds good, man. Have a good one.
Later.